All right, Laura, we're going to get started, okay?
Okay.
Well, thank you all for coming today. I'd like to introduce you to Laura Booth from Leader Dogs for the Blind. She will be our speaker today on the Leader Dog program and as the owner of a Leader Dog. Laura?
Thank you so much. I appreciate being here today, and I look forward to talking to everyone. Thank you for inviting me on National Sight Day. Sight is definitely something to celebrate, and so is Leader Dogs for the Blind. So today I'm going to be speaking to you about Leader Dogs for the Blind and their many programs that they offer to the blind and visually impaired. And I would also like to tell you, first of all, a little bit about myself. I am recently 65 years old. I live here in Michigan, in Marysville, which is right near Lake Huron. I have lived here most of my life. I'm divorced. I was married and got divorced about 12 years ago. I'm single. I have no children. And so it's just myself and my Labrador retriever. She's a black lab. Hannah is her name. And we'll talk about Hannah a little later on. I also want to mention that for my career, I was a teacher. I taught elementary school for 4 years, and I taught grades middle school for 12 years. And then I was an elementary school principal for another 8 years. And I probably quit around 10 years ago because my eyes were getting bad. So I couldn't see to work anymore. I have an eye disease called retinitis pigmentosa, and it's called RP for short. It's a genetic eye disease that runs in my family. It's kind of sporadic throughout the family. My mother had it. I had an aunt that had it, a grandmother. But out of the 28 grandchildren, I was the only one that received the gift of RP. And in some ways, I do look at it as a gift. I get to do things like this. So this is great talking to you about it. I was diagnosed with RP when I was about 12 years old. I do still have some central vision, but my peripheral vision is narrowing. So I'm getting like tunnel vision. And someday I will probably be completely blind, but I am managing so far quite well with the central vision that I have left. I was in an eye study at Harvard University for 5 years. I had to go once a year and have all kinds of tests done. And then I never knew if I was on the placebo for 5 years or whether I had the supplement. Well, after the 5-year program was over, I found out I had been on the supplement, and they, what is happening is the supplement is slowing down the progression of the eye disease. So it was very beneficial going through the program, and hopefully it will help future generations of people with RP as they do their research. Let me think. I have some notes here that I have to look at every now and then. I had to make changes in my life. I'm more of a proactive person than a reactive person. So I knew I was probably going to go blind someday. So I kind of thought when the time came, I needed to downsize, which I did. I went from a 4-bedroom home to a 2-bedroom condo. I decided I needed to get some things in place. I needed to retire. I needed to quit driving. I needed to maybe get a leader dog. And I knew about leader dogs since I was about 6 years old because my family had a German Shepherd named Rex, who was highly intelligent. And my mother realized it and thought maybe Rex would be better served as a leader dog. So we donated him to Leader Dogs for the Blind. And he graduated from the program and went to live with his new master in Florida for the rest of their lives. So that was very nice, and we've always been proud of that dog. So that's when I first learned about Leader Dogs for the Blind. let me tell you about Leader Dogs. They are an outstanding organization. They were founded in 1939 by a Lions Club Association here in Michigan. Lions Club are their major fundraising source. All of the programs at Leader Dogs are free to all blind or visually impaired clients. They pay nothing for any of the services. The mission of Leader Dogs for the Blind is to empower the blind and visually impaired with lifelong skills for safe and independent travel. And they do an outstanding job every single day of helping blind people and visually impaired people learn to travel independently and safely. That is their goal, and they carry that goal out every single day. Leader Dogs for the Blind, like I was saying, is free to all clients and it's international. There's people from all over our country, all over Canada who come to Leader Dogs. There are people from all over the world that come and benefit from what Leader Dogs has to offer, and it's all free to them. Their room and board is free while they stay on campus. If they have to fly there, their flights are free. Leader Dogs picks up the bill for the flight to the school and home and back to their homes. If you need a ride, they will come and pick you up. They have drivers who will pick people up and bring them to campus. And then when their program's over, they will take them back home again. It's just amazing. Everything is free. All the food is free. They have wonderful facility. You get your own bedroom, you have your own bathroom, you have a television in your room, you have a refrigerator, just a small refrigerator in your room. The building is totally user-friendly for the blind. They have railings around all of the hallways so that you can follow the hallway railing. And there are blind cards and raised print cards at every doorway, so you can know whether you're at the dining area or whether you're at the laundry room or where your room is by the number of your room. The beds are really comfortable too. Leader Dogs really provides a wonderful service to all clients, and it's all free of charge. They receive most of their money through fundraisers, beneficiaries, estates. They receive no federal or state funding. It's all through donations and fundraising. I'm going to start now by telling you about some of the programs for Leader Dogs for the Blind. There's the O&M program, which is the Orientation and Mobility program. There is the Guide Dog program, the Summer Experience program, and the Deaf Blind program. I'm going to start with the Orientation and Mobility program. That is a one-week program where the client comes to stay on campus and they learn the basic white cane skills. They learn how to navigate a white cane, how to walk properly with the white cane. They teach them how to navigate all curbs, whether they're up or down. They teach them how to go through revolving doors, elevators, escalators, anything you can imagine, anywhere you would walk. They teach you how to navigate with the white cane. They also teach you traffic patterning. When you're at an intersection and you want to cross, they teach you how to listen for the patterns of the traffic so that you can cross safely and know when it's time to cross and when not to cross. The white cane is a 1 week, one-on-one with an instructor, and they train you in city areas, Birmingham, Rochester Hills. They take you even to downtown Detroit if you want to go. They also teach you in rural areas where there are no sidewalks. They just give you a great all-round training. When I went for my orientation and mobility training, I trained with my instructor for 1 week. And toward the end of the week, she came back to my community with me, which was really nice. And she trained with me in my community for the last day or two. And while we were training together, she mentioned to me that I have 4 huge major intersections in my community, that it might be better if I were to try to get some audible intersections installed at those 4 corners. She suggested maybe I try with my city council and with Michigan Department of Transportation. So I did. I started working on it. It did take me 1.5 years to get it done. I was patient and I just worked and kind of reminded my city mostly that I'm still here and I really want this done. And finally, they realized I wasn't going to go away. So they installed them, and Michigan Department of Transportation came and put the audible intersections in for me. And they actually met me at each intersection and trained me on how to use them. So it was really a wonderful idea and wonderful experience that my instructor from orientation and mobility encouraged me to do. And I'm sure they do that for many other people too in their communities. Another program is the guide dog program. Oh, another thing about the orientation and mobility, if you go to get your cane training, that's the first step of getting a guide dog, because eventually the guide dog is going to take the place of the cane. However, you do not have to get a guide dog. If you want to stop with the cane training and use a cane the rest of your life, that's totally fine with leader dogs. It's a safe and independent way of travel without a leader dog, and many people do choose that. I, however, decided I wanted to go and get myself a leader dog. So the leader dog program starts with the breeders. They have host breeders that breed the dogs. One host will house the male dog and the other host will house the female dog, and they are their pets that they keep, and they're bred. And when the litter of puppies arrive, they stay with the mother for 8 weeks, and then they go to the leader dog school to be checked out by veterinarians, and then they go to their puppy raisers. So the 8-week-old puppy goes to the puppy raiser and are usually there from anywhere from 10 to 12 months. Most puppy raisers are people who volunteer. This is all volunteer. The host breeders and the puppy raisers are all volunteer. And they will take the puppies in and train them their basic skills, how to sit, how to behave. They acclimate them to different situations, different people. They take them out in public. They give them as many experiences as possible. However, there are 2 types of puppy raisers. There are the puppy raisers who have the puppies in their homes for a year. And then there are also puppies that are raised in prisons. Michigan, or Leader Dogs, uses all Michigan prisons, and then they also use 1 prison in Iowa. My dog, Hannah, was born in Minnesota, and she was donated to Leader Dogs for the Blind, but she went to the prison in Iowa, and she was raised for the first year by an inmate who did a wonderful job with her. It's a win-win situation. It helps the inmate to develop responsibility and something to care for, and they're inmates who are going to eventually get out of prison, and they have a really good program. And then it also helps them to have another raiser for the puppies. So Hannah was raised in a prison, and she was a prison pup, and he did a wonderful job. So then once the dogs are about 1 year old, they are returned to Leader Dogs for the Blind, and they meet their new instructor, their trainer, who trains them for 4 months, and they are they're acclimated to all different kinds of situations. They are trained on elevators. They're trained in the downtown cities, on buses, on subways. They're trained in airports. They're trained in malls, and they're also trained in rural areas. So the dogs are getting all the training to become a leader dog at that point. In the meantime, I did my orientation and mobility week, and then I registered to receive a dog. And I had to send in a video of myself walking, and I had to be using my cane while I was walking. I had to show them how well I could walk with a cane. They also used the video to see my height and to see how quickly I walked and the type of gait. So they match the client with the dog that they believe will be best suited for that person. And believe me, they couldn't have given me a better dog. Hannah has been wonderful. I walk 3 miles a day just for exercise, and besides anywhere else I need to walk to because I don't drive. And they gave me a high energy dog who can keep up with my walking, and she has done a great job. And she's 6 years old now, and I've had Hannah for 5 years. So I got her when she was just a little over, she was about 16 months actually. And I've had her for about 5 years. In October, I received her. So then once they make the match, then I go to, there's 3 types of training for the dog and the client training. There's the on-campus training, there's the Flux program, and there's at-home training. I went to the on-campus and again had a wonderful stay, and I trained for 3.5 weeks on campus, one-on-one with my instructor. And I received Hannah the second day I was there, and she was with me in my room. And we were together the entire time from the second day until I took her home and we graduated. The Flux program is one that is partially at-home training and on-campus training. So you might go for 2 weeks on campus and train, and then have the instructor go with you at home and train for 2 weeks. And that's kind of a combination. And then there's just the at-home training, and that's for people who may not be able to leave home because they're taking care of elderly parents, or they're taking care of children, or for some reason they cannot go to the campus to work. So the instructor will bring the brand new dog to the brand new client and will train in their community with them. It's really a great service, and the whole program is just wonderful. The way they match people with their dogs, and they make the best situation for each individual client and each individual dog. So therefore, that was the guide dog program. Then there is the summer experience camp, and that is for 16 and 17-year-olds. And each year during the summer for 1 week, Leader Dogs for the Blind takes in 24 16 and 17-year-olds, and they have them on campus. They stay there and are with their instructors for the entire week. They get 1 day where they can use a leader dog to see if they may want to try out a leader dog. And they also, the whole summer experience thing is trying to get these young people ready for their next step in life, whether it might be going to the workplace or a college campus. So the first thing they do during that week is teach them their orientation and mobility skills, and teach them how to use a white cane properly. And then they get a day where they can spend with a leader dog. And all of the activities that they do are geared toward leadership, developing leadership skills in these people. And many, they have a lot of fun activities too. They have tandem bike riding, they have rock climbing, they have bingo, they have, oh, let me think. There's zip lining that they do. And they play kickball, they just have a great time, and they have many camp counselors who help the blind teen or visually impaired teens through their week, and they make lifelong friends. And that's another thing about Leader Dogs for the Blind. Even going there at my age, when you go and you're a blind person, you realize you're not alone. You gain camaraderie with other blind people. Everyone has a story and they tell it, and you get to know one another, and it just really helps. I myself have kept friends. I still keep in touch with 2 people who went through my program. There were 21 of us in my program, and so there were 21 dogs. And there was a group of them in the guide dog program that were from Brazil. And then when I did my orientation and mobility, there was also a group from Spain. So it is very international. But anyway, back to the summer experience camp. It is a great way for blind people to get to know one another and build community among each other. And then they also can decide too whether they might be interested in coming back to get a dog someday. And then the 4th program is the Deaf and Blind program. Leader Dogs for the Blind in Rochester Hills is the only leader dog program, has the only leader dog program for the deaf and blind in our country. So many of them will come, they stay 1 month on campus, and they train one-on-one with a instructor who knows sign language and also knows how to deal with the deaf and the blind. The dogs that they receive are duo trained. They are trained to guide, and then they are also trained to alert the deaf person to sounds, smoke detector, telephone ringing, the doorbell ringing. The dogs will let the blind person know that there's something going on. And it's truly a great benefit to these people. I know how hard it is myself just going blind. I can't imagine what it must be like to go blind and deaf. I can't imagine what it'd be like to have to deal with both at the same time. So it's wonderful that Leader Dogs for the Blind does have this program for the deaf and blind. The facility, let me tell you about the staff. All staff members there are wonderful. They treat you like kings and queens, and yet it's all very casual, everyone's family, everyone's welcome. The instructors are all trained, and many of them have college degrees in working with the blind and orientation and mobility for the blind, in training the dogs. And so they're very blind friendly. And even the people in the kitchen staff, they're all just so friendly and down to earth people. It is like, I hated to leave because I knew I was going to miss the people. I also hated to leave because I knew I was going to miss the food. The food is wonderful. Their cooks are just amazing. I didn't want to leave the food either when I left. I think I gained 10 pounds while I was there because it was such good food. And yet we were walking a lot, so it probably averaged out. But anyway, the staff is just wonderful. They're very highly trained, and they are very good at working with the blind and hearing impaired and visually impaired. Couple things I just want to mention that is amazing to me with my dog, Hannah. Some of the things that she can do for me is that I can walk into a waiting room at a doctor's office and know that it's pretty busy because I can hear everyone speaking. And I can say to Hannah, Hannah, find a chair, and Hannah will lead me to an empty chair. She knows left and right, forward. She knows to sit, she knows to stay. She knows down, to lay down. And she just knows every kind of situation that we have been in the last 5 years that she has got me out of. One time I was coming across a school that was just being let out, a bunch of middle school students, and they were all coming towards us, and I couldn't tell which way to go at all. And Hannah just maneuvered me through that crowd of people. She's just really good. She's a gentle dog. She loves everyone. And I don't know what I would do without my leader dog. She is just a wonderful, wonderful dog. I'm going to hate to have to retire her. That's the other part about leader dogs. When it's time to retire, they tell us that the dog will let us know when it's time, that they will just kind of stop working for us. And if I can retire my dog and give it to someone in my family who will take care of it, or to a family friend who I know they will take good care of her, or I can give her back to the school. It's not a school. I should say that I give it back to Leader Dogs for the Blind, and they will find a good home for them. So I have a nephew who's going to take her if I decide to retire her someday. I can also keep her if I want. But then I have to decide whether I want to get another leader dog after her. If I do, I will probably give her to my nephew, and then I will get another leader dog for myself. Leader dogs can live with other dogs in the family. They can also have other cats. They can get along with cats. They are trained not to go after other animals. If I'm outside walking with my leader dog and a squirrel crosses our path, or another dog walks by, I just have to say, Hannah, leave it. And she just continues on our walk and forgets all about whatever she saw. And I think that's about all I can think of right now to give you. Leader Dogs has given me great confidence in my mobility and travel. I travel all over the place. Matter of fact, I'm going to take a flight to Virginia today, and Hannah will be on the plane with me. She has flown with me many, many places, and she maneuvers really well through airports for me. So I guess I will open this up to questions and answers. If anyone has anything they'd like to ask of me, I'd be willing to try to help you understand and give you an answer.
Great. Does anybody have any questions?
I have a 6-year-old granddaughter that has a genetic disease. She's going to site. She's already started, and it's very compromised. I believe she's lost her peripheral vision, and she's being taught to read Braille and to use a white cane. Can you speak a little bit to any opportunities for pediatrics or children?
You're able to hear that pretty good, Laura?
Part of it I did, and other parts I did not catch.
Okay. She has a 6-year-old granddaughter who is training right now to learn Braille and to use a white cane. And I'm sorry, you want
to speak to the children's program.
Yeah, do they have specific children's programs at the leader guide dogs?
No, they don't. You have to be 16 years of age or older to go to on campus to receive a guide dog, and for the orientation and mobility program. They don't have anything younger than 16 or older. Sorry to say. Maybe someday I will suggest that.
So the age limit is 16 and up, are the people who can get, okay.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have a question? So I just have one. I know you have specific breeders and stuff, but do you ever use like a shelter dog or a rescue dog or anything like that?
No, they don't really accept the shelter dogs or the rescue dogs. They will once in a while take a young dog that someone is willing to donate that they can't keep anymore. Most of the leader dogs that there are, quite a few dogs that are flunky leader dogs, and they are the ones that usually go into the other services like companion service, comfort dogs, dogs to help people who are deaf, that type of thing. So, but no, pretty much the leader dogs nowadays is breeding their own dogs.
So are there certain breeds that are
Yes.
more, okay.
They breed black Labradors, yellow Labradors, golden retrievers, and German Shepherds. I did not know this until I went to the leader dog school. I don't know where I've been, but I didn't know that you could have black labs and yellow labs in one litter, in the same litter. I thought you had to have 2 black labs and 2 yellow labs to create a yellow lab and a black lab, but nope, they can be a mixed, and that's when the chocolate labs come in too, and they're not exactly yellow or black, and they become chocolate. So they breed their own labs, and they breed their own golden retrievers and their own German Shepherds. However, to keep the breeds from getting too overbred, they will mix them now and then. A lot of the mixes are golden retriever mixed with Labrador. That's about it.
Any other questions?
So can you ask her if she can hear me? What's the training of these dogs? Because we've had and they love the water. How do we train that out of a dog?
Okay, so the question was, how are the dogs trained? Because the person had a Labrador and they like the water. They are, how do you train them not to jump into the water and not to go after the squirrels, like you said? And
That's rough, but the trainers are trained to do that. My black lab loves the water too. Then that might be something I should explain too. Okay, a lot of the training is done with positive reinforcement rather than negative reinforcement. The trainers carry pockets full of kibble. And one of the reasons they use these breeds is because they will do pretty much anything for a piece of kibble. And so they train them not to go into the water, and every time that they obey the command, they give them a piece of kibble. Don't run after the squirrel, and every time they obey the command, they give them a piece of kibble. And they do that enough times that it conditions the dog not to go into the water or not to go chasing the squirrel. And eventually they can cut down on the kibble and just give them verbal and petting praise and to substitute the kibble. But then you throw a piece of kibble in every once in a while to keep it reinforced. That is their main way of training them. My dog came to me trained, and I found out that she loves the water. That's the other thing. They're regular old dogs. She runs with other dogs who are friends of hers. They go out into the water. I'll throw a stick or a ball out into the river or the lake, and she'll go in after it. They're regular old dogs. They get to play. They get to do all the things that normal dogs do. But once you put that harness on them, they know they're working, and they become the leader dog that they are trained to be. And it's just amazing the difference in day and night and how well these dogs are trained. They can go from playtime to work time just by putting the harness on. And I don't know if I answered your question, but that's what I know about how they train them.
no, you did. You answered her question.
Okay, good.
Any other questions? I don't think we have any other questions, Laura. I
Okay.
really appreciate you taking the time and doing this for us today.
Oh, it was my pleasure. I always like to educate people about leader dogs for the blind. So the best thing any one of us can do to help Leader Dogs continue on is to keep spreading the word that they are out there and they are all about fundraising and donations, and just let people know about Leader Dogs and what a great job they do. And I thank you. Thanks again for letting me spend this time with you.
Thank you, Laura.
Bye-bye.
Bye.